Question number 12, Jami-Lee Ross.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Customs and asks, what reports has she received on Customs' collaboration with overseas partner agencies to intercept drugs destined for New Zealand?
The Honourable Nicky Wagner.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Customs works with law enforcement agencies around the world to identify drug smuggling activity and trends, to disrupt the supply chain early and to stop the flow of drugs to New Zealand. In the last financial year, our work with overseas partners has prevented illicit drugs from reaching New Zealand worth over $204 million worth of potential social and economic harm.
Order. Supplementary question, Jami-Lee Ross.
How does New Zealand Customs support other countries to stop the importation of drugs, and why?
The Honourable Nicky Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. By helping to protect other countries' borders, we protect our own. New Zealand's Customs works with overseas partners to insist on the stopping of importation of drugs, and in doing so, we develop relationships that benefit everyone. For example, last month, Australian authorities boarded a cruise liner when it arrived in Sydney from Auckland, and they seized 95 kgs of cocaine and arrested 3 Canadians. New Zealand Customs has worked with the Australian Border Force and other agencies in this operation, which led to the seizure and the arrests.
Well done. Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Mahesh Bindra. Order.
Supplementary to the Minister. Does she understand that much more than 204 million of drug harm could be stopped if our department were to physically inspect or X-ray more than the current pitiful 5 to 10% of goods arriving in containers?
The Honourable Nicky Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Obviously, we can't be confident that we stop everything at the border, but when we look in the cases of methamphetamine, we find that Customs is seizing more meth, that the number of meth users is going down. It used to be about 2.2%, it's down to 1%, and meth users tend to be older. And what's more, the price of methamphetamine tends to be stable and very high.
Supplementary question, Jami-Lee Ross.
How much potential harm has been prevented by the interception of illicit drugs at the border?
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Nicky Wagner.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Over the last 3 financial years, our overseas partners have made 30 interceptions of illicit drugs, mainly methamphetamine, on its way to New Zealand. In the 2015 and 16 financial year, over $875 million worth of potential harm was avoided by interceptions at the border. And combined with that $204 million outside, that means that we've seized drugs destined for New Zealand of over $1 billion worth of potential social and economic harm.
And that